My God, is that light? Guys, we have partially blue skies. Now that's a good day in Berlin.
What's up, guys? Well, that wraps up the first part of the morning trading. Wow, I gotta get used to that. It's a little confusing. So right now is about 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So it's just about the time where I want to start doing my video recap of these last few trades. As like I said in yesterday's video, some of these support line bounces, entries and exits take a little bit longer to plan out. And in the past week and a half, I've noticed I was either rushing the entries or rushing the exits. And it was purely because I knew that around 6:30, around 7, maybe I want to start filming the video, editing, blah, blah, blah. And if I already started at 6:37, I knew I was going to be up till about 10 doing some video editing and, making the thumbnail and stuff like that. I'm not complaining, but it was a really weird way to be basing my trades off of other work I need to be doing and not the trade. So I'm going to let those trades kind of, play out, do what they want to do, and really focus these videos obviously on those trades as well, especially after we close them so we can review them. But on those first 30 minutes, what could have been, what should have been, what should we look for next time, and those fun things. So let's dive into that. We were really looking at two things today, MBRX and VVUS. On the live stream, you saw with MBRX, it was trying to break above VWAP. We bought into it. Had some nice support below it. It just didn't get that breakout. So, enough sellers started coming, kind of pulling back into the price. And when I realized that, I was like, I'm not sticking around. I'm out of here. And we got out of that trade. Good thing, because it continued to pull back all the way to, I think, $1.01 or something like that. I'll check it in the charts in a second, but good thing we got out. It's always super important, especially with these sketchy small caps, to just get out when they're no longer going your way. VVUS was 100% the winner of the day. And there was big resistance above it. I didn't feel comfortable with that 1 minute, the first 1 minute on the opening bell, so we didn't trade it, which was really good news. But when I think like 85 or something really became support, and we had even a double bottom, and we tried to break out, we had a double top, and I was like, what's going on with this one? 280, 275, big support there, and you guys saw it. I had my limit order there, so that's one I really want to be talking about today, and I want to talk about how I should have maybe traded it. And I was close. I was really close, I think, to trading it right. We did everything right. I was just a smidget too conservative, and then we missed that big run up. It was like a 30% run up. Not really that big. Nothing today was really that big. I think like everything is kind of slowly pulling back. All the indexes were up, and they're still up, but they're not up. I think NASDAQ was at 1.1%, and now it's at 0.1%. So everything's kind of pulling back a little bit. No really big gap and goers. So you guys, another one of those days where the gap and go breakout strategy is just a little bit weaker, but we could have still traded it right. And in this video, and when we review the charts in a second, that's what I want to be focusing on. I want to be focusing on exactly what we could have done to nail this morning. But it's not all bad. I think we did a lot right this morning as well. So, all right, guys, I'll see you on the charts. Boom! All right, guys, welcome back, or welcome to the charts. MBRX. This is the one that we started off trading on the live stream. It wasn't the one though that all of our attention was. VVUS was really what I was looking at, and that was the big winner of the day. So we'll talk about that one in a second. But first, let's talk about MBRX. We got two trades on it. You guys saw one of them on the live stream, and then the other one I just made a little bit later. So this thing was good. It was gapping up really nice. It was at 60%, yeah, 66%. It was on our watch list, but it wasn't on my top 3. They had a nice FDA approval though. I was a little concerned though, the fact that they weren't really holding their highs. And on top of that, they had huge resistance above. Their long-term chart was looking a little shaky. I don't know. I don't really like when this 180-day moving average resistance is, right above where I want to be gapping out. Not to mention, pre-market, we went all the way up to 1.5, and there we had long-term resistance. So this thing was just littered with resistance. You can see in the morning, it hit 148, and it just pulled back really aggressively, and then, pulled all the way back to this, $1 support zone. What I was looking out though, it seemed like, in the morning we dipped down here at this 1.11 area, and it kept on holding. You know, the support held many times, and I was thinking, okay, this could be a really good trade. You know, we might sneak above VWAP, and from there we might hit, you know, this shoulder area, or maybe even this shoulder area, and before we have a pullback. And that's, you know, that's when I got a little aggressive on this trade. This move, the first move was about a 5%, pulled back about 2%, and then we were, you know, ready to move up here. And this is where I entered 1.18 as we were breaking higher, which was an okay entry. I wanted to enter at 16 or 17, because there was a lot of sellers there, and eventually those sellers, you know, got cracked. And I wanted to buy into the seller, so I wanted to buy into the ask, but it happened really, really fast. And I missed it. It was just a big chunk, and I was waiting for them to get chipped away, but they didn't get chipped away. They just got taken away in one big swoop. So I kind of bought on the pullback. Unfortunately, we didn't really hold this high, and then we pulled back, and I was like, that's a little painful. And once, you know, more resistance came in here and big sellers, then, you know, I didn't really want this thing to break past 1.15, 1.16. It broke past 1.16 fairly quickly, and then I got out at 1.55. So it was a okay exit, because this thing pulled back another 4%. And then, as you can see, it actually pulled back way more. It pulled back about, you know, 11, 12% the rest of the day. So good thing we got out. We would have had maybe another opportunity to get out here, but I probably just would have gotten on the wrong side of the trade again. So yeah, just how it is. One thing I do want to point out, this thing only has $12 million volume, and it's already 5 p.m. or 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, you know, this thing really didn't have that much interest in it, which is kind of crazy for an FDA approval, but that's just how it is sometimes. What I did though later on is, you know, I had a limit order here at 1.03 for a while, and we were trying to break lower. We hit 1.04, and we tried, and then we broke higher here, and I was like, oh, are you kidding me? I missed the support line bounce by 1 cent. So I moved my limit order up to 1.05, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to get any more aggressive than that. If we pull back to 1.05, great. If we don't, I just missed this one. We did pull back to 1.05, and actually we pulled back even further. Let me see if I can find a good angle for this. The 5 minute I'll use. We pulled from 1.05 for my entry all the way down to 1.02. So kind of annoying, because, you know, I was waiting. I was extremely patient on this one, and then it dipped below my ideal entry, and I was like, well, whatever. That happens sometimes. Luckily, the price, you know, rallied up, and then I identified there was a huge shoulder here. You know, I didn't really want to hold past 115, not to mention we're getting close to VWAP. So I decided to get out maybe a little early at 113. The price did rip up a little bit more from 113, but not really too much to the point where it was that painful. Another 3% I could have maybe made if I held into the 116, but it's very unlikely. You don't really know. I made a clean, I think, 7% on this trade. You know, it was a pretty nice trade. I was really happy with it. So it's going to look really good in our trade journal. And yeah, I don't know. Can't really complain. Let's move on. The next one, or the big one today, I almost want to say Tesla, because I think everyone's looking at Tesla, but we could check out Tesla for maybe a second after VVUS, because this is the one I should have slayed. It was the second one on our watch list. 26 million market cap, 10 million float, US biotech company, gapping up 50%. They have an FDA approval for an improved formulation of their drug Pancreas. I don't know if I'm saying that right, because I don't know if it's really supposed to be called Pancreas, or if it's supposed to be called some fancy name of pancreas or something like that. Anyway, with a new improved 36-month shelf life, they didn't have any warrants out. This thing had a lot of good stuff going for it. Like I said, though, in the beginning of this video, I was a little cautious here, because let's quickly go to the long-term chart, and let me show you guys what was going on with this one. Pre-market, we ran all the way up to 319 maybe, and let me check out here. So that's right around here, where you can clearly see there's been some support in this area, some resistance, yada yada. So let me quickly go ahead and identify this area right here. So you can see big support in this area again, last time support here, and then new resistance in this area. And then, you know, pre-market, we ran all the way up to 319 right here. And that is, again, where this thing tried to break out higher and wasn't really able to do it. So the 1 minute candle, it was good to be a bit more patient, even though we did have nice volume on this opening candle. But then, it kept on pulling back more and more and more. And it was a good thing that, I waited on this one. On the 5 minute chart down here, you can see at 2.7, there's good long-term support in this area. And I wanted to front run that a little bit. I had an order out at 2.75, but we never really came down to that area, which was a little bit unfortunate. So let me just kind of scroll on forward a little bit. We came all the way down to 2.82, and then we reversed. And this reversal was kind of hard to identify. What I should have done on the live stream, so this was right around, let's see, 9:45, or even a little bit before that, 9:43. We had a red to green move, or almost. We popped from here back to the upside, and we pulled back to this VWAP, former support, former breakout area. So at 2.95, this would have been a really, really good time to enter. Because now we just had, a double top. We're trying to break higher. We have big support below us, big long-term support, and we're up on Catalyst News. And this is, a small cap, tiny float. Everything's really good. I mean, 10 million float, guys. That's huge. Hugely small. So holds this area 2.9. It's just holding it like a champ. And then eventually, boom, we get that 1 minute giant break to the upside. And then this thing just continues to run. And it just kind of has been running all day. So this would have been the one to trade. And you can see here from about 2.9, let's say we entered in the medium of this area, I'd say like 2.97. It's actually still fairly conservative. This first run could have netted us about, I don't know, above 10%, depending how we traded this one. But if we held through the first pullback, which, is definitely kind of likely, just because this one had a lot of energy behind it. It already identified, big support, and then it ran all the way up to, $4, which again is kind of obvious because that's where big long-term resistance is. And I'll show you guys that on a long-term chart again. So this was, a 33% move, could have been really good. And that's definitely how I should have played this one today. I probably would have got out early here, especially when this thing faked out, breaking higher. I don't really like holding these things too much. What was a nice spot to probably get in on this one though, again at about 10:15, and I'll show you guys here, is this first 5 minute breakout. So we have a nice little 5 minute area right here. We're holding our highs very nicely. And then this is that 5 minute area I'm talking about. And then we break above it right here and we have this little 1 minute pullback. So a breakout from a 5 minute zone, buying on that first 1 minute pullback is a really, really good entry. And that would have been the ticket on this one. So this second trade right here, buying the breakout. So that would have been, netted us a 16% move. So really, really nice move on this one. I mean, I'm not complaining. We got a really nice 7% move today. And we still have one more trade left. I'm not really sure if we're going to be using it today. Maybe not. For now, I do have that last trade on PBYI. I want to be really conservative on this one though, because I just don't really know why it's breaking up. I don't know the news about it, but around $12, we have really, really fat long-term support. So I was thinking, okay, if we pull back to $12, I wouldn't mind a little bounce trade from there. I would definitely risk it. I think there's good support in this area. So maybe, taking a trade from here back to maybe $13 could net us maybe 5 to 13%, depending on our entry and how long I want to hold it for. I just don't really know if I'm going to keep it here. I don't know. It's tough to say. And yeah, just very quickly, I forgot to show you guys the $4 long-term resistance. Let me quickly go back to here because that's where the price ran up to. And here you can see $4. The price, fell for months all the way down to $4. And this is where we had that big reversal, that big first pop to the upside. And again, we dropped down even lower to 3.26 at one point. But ultimately, this $4 area was that big initial bounce. And you can see here again, we pull back to $4. So this is long-term support. Long-term support becomes new resistance. And you can see here, we've been kind of teetering on this $4 area for a really long time. And guess what? Today, we run up all the way to $4 before having that big initial pullback. So I definitely would have got out. I don't know, I would have waited for $4 or $4.10. Knowing me, I probably would have got out at like $3.87 or $3.95, or I don't know, depending on the price action. But I don't think I would have waited till $4. But, really nice move. VVUS was definitely the one to trade today. I don't think we did a bad job trading MBRX. So I'm not really disappointed at all. But in the future, if we see big support coming in here and 2 attempts to break higher, and then we make a higher low in this area, I think this thing had a lot of stuff going for it, and I should have probably noticed that, been a little bit more aggressive, and then just whacked it and been ready to go. Well, yesterday we were slightly red on the month, and today we're definitely green on the month, which is really, really nice. The mornings have been a little bit shaky for me. Still got lots to learn, especially with this morning gap and go strategy, but I think all the puzzle pieces are slowly coming together. And it's also nice to get these videos done just a little bit earlier. I mean, there's still just a tad bit of light outside, which is just mind-blowingly nice. It's really allowed me not to stress so much about, I need to get this entry, I need to get this exit because I need to have, I need to publish this video. Instead, it really allows me to be like, what, I don't really feel this entry, or I want to wait a little bit longer for this entry or exit. Let me do that. And in the meantime, I'll start making these videos. So around 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I'll be probably filming these videos from now on, unless I'm literally in the middle of a trade or something like that, which would actually make for good content. So who knows, maybe I'll just film, the live trade as well. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, consider leaving a like. And if you're new here, also consider subscribing. I would love to have you join the challenge. That's everything for today. Like always, guys, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Till next time, ciao, ciao.